right, am I live? Am I live, guys? Guess we'll find out. And we'll see if we can get any viewers in here. It's Saturday night, so I don't know if we're going to get anyone. Who knows? Maybe there's other live streamers out there right now. But let me just make sure that everything is going good on my end as far as the live stream goes. Here, let me get the door closed over here. My dogs are laying around. All right, hello. Looks like we got one viewer. Let me make sure I got top. Let me make sure I have live chat turned on so I can see everyone's comments. There we go. And I'll go ahead and change the filter there so that I look good. How's it going, guys? Let me know if you can hear me. Everything's going good over here. If you guys are just joining in, let's see. Can you hear me? Anyone there? Okay, so in the meantime, while I'm waiting for one or two people to join in here, I'm going to share this live stream on Twitter, and hopefully people will see it. Hopefully, I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. All right, I guess we lost a viewer here. That's all right. Let's see. And again, it's Saturday night. Who knows? I might not be live streaming. I might not be. We'll find out, I guess. If I can get anybody to join here, then we can definitely see what's going on here. Again, hello. If you guys are just joining in, please share in on the chat here or go ahead. What's up, Mikey Tech Reviews? I'm going to share this on Twitter so that we can get this going. And the DHR. All right, so how's it going, buddy? So, I wanted to do this live stream tonight just because, again, it's Saturday night, and I don't know. I'm not doing anything. I'm off tomorrow, so I can technically be up a little late. We'll see, but again, the camera that I'm live streaming on is actually going to go out. It only has about 40% battery life left on it, so I don't know if I'm gonna get anyone to join in on the chat besides yourself, man. But anyways, let me go ahead and go over the topic that I wanted to talk about here. Let me see. I'm in the wrong chat over here. Okay, so the topic that I wanted to go over today was, do you need to change your phone every single year? And what I mean by that is, do you need to change your flagship device every single year? So every time, every year a new phone comes out, new technology comes out, etc. like that. But, I've noticed over the past, 5 years that basically that there's really nothing that it really improves on the phones except for battery life and the camera, basically. I think that's really the only two things that people really tend to focus on nowadays. So it's like, oh, get the Galaxy S10 or 11, and you're gonna get a way better battery. And other things like the screens have improved. Performance as far as fluidity has always kind of been pretty good on Apple phones. I haven't really complained too much. I've had my iPhone 10 for about a good year and a half already. A little more than a year and a half, I guess. It's but I have not wanted to replace this specific phone because I haven't really had the necessity to, okay? And maybe that's because I'm in Apple's ecosystem. Let's see, what did Mikey Tech say? He says, heard the notifications that you were live streaming, decided to check out your live stream, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You're my only viewer technically right now. I'm the only, it is Saturday night. It's late, so I don't expect to have more than a few viewers, if anything. I know CV Tech is supposed to go live. But anywho, so, again, the reason why I wanted to post this was because, why I don't see why people feel the need to have to get a new flagship phone every single year, okay? Now, again, really depends. If you have the money, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? If you want to spend another, now it's in the $1,000 mark. If you want to spend $1,000 basically for a good flagship, then do it. You know what I mean? I mean, you have the money and the money's there. Do it by all means. But for the most part, for me, I don't have the funding to be spending on $1,000 smartphones every single year. You know what I mean? In fact, I was very surprised when I actually got this specific cell phone. You know what I mean? And I'm still loving my iPhone 10. The only thing that I don't like about this phone right now is that I'm noticing that the battery life is kind of starting to diminish a little bit. So the battery's finally starting to fade out. So I think this right now this phone's only topping out at 91% as far as battery percentage goes, and that's one reason to want to get another an upgrade on your Apple devices or whatever. But for the most part, like I don't see the reason why people should be upgrading like their Android devices, because first of all, Android devices have like way better battery lives in my opinion. Like take for instance the new Mobile G3 Plus, the one that I'm using to live stream right now, dude. The battery on this thing lasts for days. Okay, and again, I'm not consistently using this phone, but it is a good. It is a good phone, and it is good on battery life. So I think that that's one thing that, like I said, has changed. Let's see. I heard that the next iPhone might have some new features and even steal one from the new Galaxy S10 Plus wireless charging AirPods on the back of the phone. Yeah, those little features I think are like, I don't know if that's a deal breaker for me. You know what I mean? To be able to charge your wireless earphones on the back of your phone. Like I kind of like that, and then I kind of don't, because first of all, when you do something like this, when you do wireless charging, whether it be on your phone or whatever, you're taking battery from something. So I'm just really old school like that. I probably wouldn't do that as far as even if the technology's there, unless the battery life on this I know is going to last me a lot longer. Obviously, AirPods and whatnot the battery on those are a lot smaller than what you would get on an actual phone. Usually they're only like 1,000 milliamps compared to like phone batteries, which are like 3 to 4,000 milliamp hours. But for the most part, like I don't care about features like that. You know what I mean? And I don't see why people have to buy into the new technology. Some of this technology has been around for years. Like I remember when Apple finally decided to make their phones wireless chargeable. You know what I mean? Or all right, hold on, I'm just responding to a friend. So again, I don't know why people are making such a big deal about this specific thing, I guess, or the technology. Mikey says, "Yeah, I get your point. Some people don't consider certain features a necessity to switch over to the newest phones." So, this is going to go to my. I'm actually expecting another review unit coming in this coming week, guys. And it's not a new phone, by the way. I purchased an older flagship device, and I hope that you guys check out the unboxing on that whenever that does go down. But for the most part, this is going to be a flagship phone that I wanted to get at that specific time, but it just didn't end up happening because I was already paying for another phone, and it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to, right? But keep an eye out on my specific YouTube channel. Uh, this coming week, hopefully early on this week, I'll get an unboxing going for that, and I don't even know if it's going to come with the original box. I guess we'll figure that out. But anyways, we'll see how that goes. I hope that you guys are hopefully excited to see a smartphone unboxing for my YouTube channel. Essentially, shoot, man. Okay, hold on. All right, Mikey Tech Reviews. If you're still there, please make a comment. If not, it's cool, man. But anyways, I just wanted to get on this little live chat tonight so that we can probably. Okay, let's see. Mill Hustles is trying to get Umidigi to send him the S3 Pro. I'm not sure what's going on there. I would like to get the S3 Pro as well. I would actually want to test out the Umidigi F1 actually, but The F1 is supposed to be like really specced out phone also, but at the same time, the S3 Pro or whatever you want to call it is their new phone. So I don't know like what their new flagship is, etc. like that, or what's going on there specifically, but I if the money's there for me within the next month and a half, I will probably actually look into either getting the S3 Pro from Umidigi or also the F1 just to test it out, obviously. But for me currently, I'm more interested in actually testing out the older flagship devices and how they perform. So that's why I purchased an older flagship device so that I can see how this specific device performs in 2019. You know what I mean? I myself have emailed or messaged Umidigi, and the only response I've gotten from them is saying that they do not send review units to YouTubers, which is weird. Like, I don't believe that. I think that's kind of BS, but if that's the case, that's true. All right, okay, how come it says that there's only two people or there's only one person? Hold on, can I like my own video? Let's see. Let's see if this goes down. Can I chat also? Yo, let's see. Now, who am I chatting under? Am I chatting under B Tech Reviews? Let's find out. Let's do it. Oh yeah, it's me. Okay. That's weird. Even though you're messaging me live here, I'm not getting a thing saying that you're actually watching the broadcast, man. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyways, I was actually trying to live stream on my computer. I ended up having to get on my phone for whatever reason. I believe that it wasn't picking up my webcam. Well, it was, but then it was turning off and on. So I'm not 100% sure what was going on there. With my webcam, I really wanted to live stream with my webcam just because I think it looks better. Well, at least to me, it looks better. But I guess I don't know. I guess this doesn't look bad. Mikey Tech Reviews, if you're still there, can you hear me okay? I'm not really listening in on how the audio sounds. All right. Oh, there you go. Maybe it says that somebody else joined in. Maybe not. But anyways, so I'm very excited for myself to test out this new tester unit that I ordered, and I maybe if a few of you guys are joining in here right now, can you guys let me tell you that I ordered a review unit, but it's not a brand new phone. Okay, so I want you guys to guess which phone I ordered. Okay, and if and if you're right, I'll give you a thumbs up. If you're wrong, I'll give you a thumbs down. But let's just say the phone is already a few years old. I believe it came out in either 2015 or 2016. Hold on, let me find out really quick. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to figure out what year the phone that I ordered actually came out. And I'm kind of just glad that I got this phone for under $100. Let's see. Okay, hold on. If I can type this out on my freaking phone. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see. That's what Mill Hustle said. I'm not sure what's going on with Mill Hustles, by the way, man. I think he deleted his YouTube channel, man. If you go look at his YouTube channel, it's not there. Okay. So okay, so this smartphone that I purchased, and wow, I didn't realize how old it was actually. It came out in the fall of 2015. So try to take a guess on that, man. The phone is made by LG, and there's two variants of the phones. Okay, let's just say that it was let's just say it's Android related. Obviously, it has nothing. It's not iPhone. But let's just say that it's Android related, and it's a phone that I wanted to get at the time. And this is before they started making dual cameras on phones as well. So let's see if you can take a guess on that, Mikey Tech. All right, let's see. So Mikey Tech, let's see if you can play the guessing game. And again, it's LG, man. So if you can guess that, then we'll be good. Don't worry. I don't know. I'm debating whether to delete this live stream after I finish off here, man, because no one's on tonight. So if no one's on tonight, why? Like, I might not even stay on too much longer. But even then, regardless of people being on tonight, I'm hoping to get this other review unit soon. Hopefully by Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, and I'm just can't wait to get my hands on it, get the feel of the phone, and just see how this specific item performs. Okay, I already gave you. Wait, did I tell you what company? No, it's not the G4. Hey, what are you up to, bro? I'm up late tonight. Saw you live. Hey, no life. 2692. Not much, man. I'm just talking about smartphones and basically like, talking to you guys like, should you guys be replacing your smartphone every year? Like, is it necessary to replace your smartphone every single year? Are you one of those type of people that, has to replace tech consistently so that you can get the new technology in something or whatever, or something like that? And I'm talking to Mike here. Hey, okay, so No Life 2692 says no, if it works, then there's no need to replace it. Again, I agree. So like, I was telling Mikey Tech reviews over here that I have this iPhone 10 here, and I've had it since it basically came out. So the iPhone 10s came out like November of 2018 or 2017, excuse me. And again, this is still kind of like a top rated cell phone, even though this phone is not the newest version of it anymore. Now you have the, iPhone 10X or the 10X Max, and plus the iPhone XR, which the screens on those are a little bigger. The 10X, it's exactly the same size, obviously. And then you have the 10X Max. Me, again, I haven't really seen the need to basically replace this specific phone. Uh, let's see. And Mikey Tech reviews no on the LG V20, man. Just so you know, he's guessing. He's trying to guess which phone that. Okay, no life. All phones are the same now with the S specs. Nothing is new coming out. Yeah, I mean, pretty much like even though most of the phones come out, like a lot of them come with the same chipset and everything like that. The only thing that really differentiates is the software, obviously, and the cameras. Like I was telling Mikey Tech over here that I mean, obviously, like the iPhone 10 camera, it's good. I know the 10X and the even the XR cameras are like a little better, but for the most part, like I've had no issues taking pictures, portraits, or whatever with this specific phone. It's I haven't dropped it. It's not cracked or anything like that. Let me knock on wood so I don't jinx this, right? I don't have any issues. I mean, the battery is still holding up somewhat. I think I was telling Mikey Tech that yes, the battery is a little drain on it. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Let's see. Even you can. Okay, hold on. No Life says all phone. Okay, even with the software, you can use launcher. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what that means. If that's regarding Android, um, yeah, I know with Android you can. I don't know if they still do custom ROMs, but for the most part, you can download a new launcher or something on the actual device that has features that your original version of Android didn't have. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people aren't aware of that you can do something like that. Let's see. No Life says I have the Nokia 3.1 with unlocked dual SIM phone, bro, and with SD card with 128 gigs to put in this, and it's good enough. Hold on this iPhone, like over 100. Okay, hold on. Yeah, so the iPhones are again over $1,000. If you're content with the phone that you're using, it is not the LG Optimus Mikey Tech reviews. It's an LG phone, okay, but let me. If you get it right, I'll give you a thumbs up, okay. But I'm not gonna say yes or no either, okay. Okay. So anyways, So yeah, for the most part, man, like I'm like I have some friends out there that are consistently, having to buy the new tech product. Obviously, me, I used to be that way also. I feel like when I first got into smartphones, that I was consistently buying, buying and buying. Like I would go through at least two phones a year, and luckily at the time, like I was with T-Mobile, so I was able to switch out my SIM card into my new phone. Like I would just buy a new phone, I would sell the old phone and try to get as much money. Not the LG Stylo 2, man. No. Okay. But anyway, so it's just one of those things where like, hey, like, do you need the newest tech? Like, do I need to have that phone that can charge the Apple AirPods on the back? You know what I mean? Like, is that really is stuff like that really necessary? Like, it's 2019. I still don't really take advantage of the NFC in this phone, which allows you to do like Apple Pay in some places. So I mean, I've used Apple Pay a couple of times, honestly. Like if you go here and you can see that I have my cards linked up, right? What's up, Atypical Hustler? The Atypical Hustler. What's up, everyone? How's it going, brother? Not much, man. We're just talking about smartphones and if you should replace your smartphone every year, or do you feel the need to replace your smartphone every single year? Me, I was telling the guys earlier that yes, I used to be that way. I used to be one of those people that would have to replace their phones constantly because I wanted the newest tech, right? But over the last like 4 or 5 years, I've kind of trickled that down a little bit, and I've been keeping my phones for the most part. So prior to the iPhone 10, I was actually using. Let's see. I was actually using an Android phone. I was using the Moto. I was using the LG G6 actually, which at the time I had I only had that phone for a couple months, but only because I was using an iPhone before that, and I really got kind of annoyed on how the phone performed specifically. It was very sluggish, and my old iPhone 6s was performing better than that LG G6, which was like 2 years newer, and that phone was a lot. The LG G6 felt a lot better in the hands. The screen was bigger. It had better speakers. It was waterproof. It had a lot of good features, but the reason why I ended up going back to iOS and iPhone is because the iPhone just does not give me any stuttering, guys. Like it is rare that this phone stutters on me. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Uh, No Life says, you know what really is funny, bro? I still have my S3 by Samsung, and I made it into a wireless charging device by having a charging receiver connected on the back of the phone to have wireless charging. Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen anyone do something like that specifically, but that's pretty cool. Let's see. A typical hustler says, I personally don't feel the need. I went from the iPhone 4S to the 6S Plus to the XS Max. So Atypical Hustler is basically saying that he skipped several phone generations before upgrading to a new phone. So me, this is my daily driver, right? The iPhone 10. I might not actually get another phone until either the next iPhone comes out or even the iPhone after that. It really just depends on this. Me, I'm actually debating on switching back to Android. Whoa, hey, that's me, by the way. That's my cats. Or my dogs, actually. But me, again, I'm actually thinking about either keeping this phone until either the end of this year or early next year when I get my income tax and I can finally afford to trade this phone in or send it in or sell it. I mean, I can probably still get like a good $500 for this phone in the condition it's in. You know what I mean? But regardless, and the cool thing about iPhones is even though they're old, like they don't really lose their value unless they're like cracked and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But for me, as long as I stay in the Apple ecosystem, I'm not really gonna have any issues. Like, or at least I think. I mean, yes, there's phones that crap out. But if Apple's warranties are usually pretty good. Like if your phone craps out within the first year, Apple will replace it, like no questions asked. You know what I mean? And I know even though I don't live near an Apple store myself, I've been to several Apple stores with other people, and they've taken care of them. Okay, so let's see. Mikey Tech Review says there is no lagging on iPhone. Yes, and that's why some people haven't traded in their old iPhone 6s, their iPhone 6Ss, even their iPhone 7s. I think right now, if I ended up cracking or breaking this phone for whatever reason, I would probably either get an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 8, just because those phones are just I know they're gonna last me, obviously, and I know that they're gonna perform just the same as this, minus the facial unlock, which I'm sure you guys already know about. Like, face unlock works pretty good, like, and it's gotten better. So let's see. Hey, I was just thinking about your car when you bought it. Did they sell you any kind of insurance protection? You need to check your papers. No, I don't get any. Okay. And no invite. All right, sorry, I'm just responding to some friends over here. But anyway, okay, so no, earlier, sorry, I'm getting distracted by my mother because my mom just texted me saying, like, if my car has any extra insurance. And the reason why she's texting me that is because earlier when I was driving home from work, I have to hit the highway when I'm driving home from work, right? And a big rock hit my windshield, man, and it's probably about this size of the actual, like, little whatever you want to call it, the crack on my windshield, and it's just, oh, so I'm gonna end up having to spend a little bit of money probably getting that fixed, or I'm gonna have to maybe go to my insurance and figure that out. But okay, let's see what Mikey Tech is saying. iPhone resale value is good also. Yes, I mean, you can probably still. I think the cheapest phone that you can probably get is the iPhone SE right now, like, for like $100 refurbished or used. iPhone 6 is also for around 100. 6Ss go a little higher. 6Ss are like 150 to 200 depending. And then 7 and on are going to go up, obviously, but you can get probably like a used iPhone 7 for like $250, man, and they're going to perform the same way, like that, the brand new iPhone XR and the XS are doing. You know what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous. Like, I think that's one reason why people are so, like, sided with Apple when it comes to their ecosystem, mostly because, like, I can switch over from an older phone to a new phone, and I'm really not going to see that much of a difference in performance. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, you're going to see a slight difference in speed, but it's not to the point where, like, you're not noticing too much of a big deal. You know what I mean? I've only ever had one experience like that with Android devices, and that was the Nexus. The Nexus phones were, um, really good devices. And just so you know, Mikey Tech, that's a little bit of spoilers for the device that I'm going to get, but I didn't tell you which one though. So, but basically, Nexus devices, at when they were actually good, and I'm not trying to knock on, like, the older, the last versions of the Nexus devices, but when I had the Nexus, I had the Nexus 4, 5, and 6, right? The Nexus 4 and the Nexus 5 were actually really good phones. Like, I've never had such a smooth, buttery experience with a cell phone prior to that. You know what I mean? And as far as jumping from that to an iPhone, I can confidently say that, having the Nexus 5 was easily comparable to having, like, an iPhone 6S. You know what I mean? There's hardly any of, major hiccups or whatever when you're jumping from app to app. It was very good as far as, gaming, all that. There was just really no issues. I had no issues. There was very, very little lag on those phones. Okay, hold on. What is going on? Let's see. Let's see. No Life says, I think if Apple has an SD card slot, the value of the iPhone would go up and make the iPhone great again. Well, I mean, if you think about it, the iPhones, the newer iPhones, the memory on them are kind of expanding. They're not really selling phones with low memory anymore. I mean, I think you could probably, even the new iPhone 10 and XR is like the minimum that you're getting now is like 128 gigs. You know what I mean? My iPhone 10, it's a 64 gig. I've had it for almost, again, like I said, a year and a half. Whoa, hello. Turn on my I turned on my thing. But anyway, let's see. Took everything off. Okay. Well, all right. No, sorry. My mother's discussing warranty on my car. So, anyways, so yeah, I mean, okay, what was I saying there? I think okay, so No Life says I think if Apple had SD cards, yeah. So me, like, I don't think memory is really becoming an issue anymore, and the reason why is because Apple's, even though their devices are obviously they're getting more expensive, they're upping their game when it comes to memory. So my iPhone 10 or whatever, again the iPhone 10 here, this one I bought the base, which was the 64 gigabyte. I haven't filled this thing up. This thing has more than like 1,000 pictures on it. It has videos on it. I have music on it, and I still have maybe like at least 25 to 30 gigs left of memory on it. So it really just depends. It really depends on the person. Obviously you have the cloud now that will allow you to save pictures and videos. Like Apple charges like 99 cents a month to pay for like an extra 50 gigs of like cloud storage. So No Life says, what happens if your phone breaks and your data is important, or their Apple Cloud is not that secure? Yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm aware that the Apple Cloud is not that secure. You can download other apps, like third-party apps like Google Drive, also to help back up any pictures and stuff like that. If something's going to be important, then do it. Obviously, there is such a thing as iCloud backup, also. Where it'll make a backup copy of like your apps and stuff like that as well. I mean, I don't trust it 100%, but I do trust it enough to where I know I'll be able to, access it and not have any issues, right? But anyways, it works the same for Google. I mean, I know Google, their phones are, they allow you to have that option of having the SD card and transferring your crap from the phone to the SD card. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that your phone's gonna obviously be safe. You know what I mean? I've had issues in the past with my Android phones where the data will get corrupted on the SD card, and I still end up losing all my memory and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter if you're on Android or iOS, whatever. You're still gonna have those issues. Really, just depends on the device. You know what I mean? I think people, are sticking with devices like Samsung and Apple though, because they know that those are probably the phones that are going to give them the least amount of worries. I feel like LG and Motorola are still kind of like, down there when it comes to their flagship devices. I've had flagship devices from both of those brands. Like the Moto Z2 was just a big disappointment in my opinion. The battery life was trash. Like the phone was snappy and zippy, but like the camera, when you would bring the camera up, the camera would load so slowly. Like it was just ridiculous. You know what I mean? All right, hold on. I gotta see if my mom responded. All right. All right, sorry. I'm just again responding to my mom and a friend there. Okay, what are you guys saying? So, okay, we'll not save the data. Mikey Tech says I like LG, but my gripe is that every year, my okay, hold on. My gripe is that every year they come out with the same UI. So I mean, most phone companies will stick to their own UI or their own like little skin, like Android, LG. The only one that really hasn't been confined to that is Motorola, like and other companies. Obviously, there's other companies out there. Google obviously has the Pixel, right, where they stick to vanilla Android and they don't really change the UI or skin. The reason why LG and Samsung stick to their specific UIs is because they have the ability to change things that they want. So if they want to add a little feature, they can do that. You know what I mean? If they want to take something away, they can do that as well. Um, all right, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Keep an eye out. Atypical Hustler. Keep an eye out. This coming week, I'm gonna have an unboxing video going for a new device. So keep an eye out. Thanks for watching and thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it. So that's a new subscriber. Heck yeah. So I can't complain there, right? I mean, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel and it's continuing to grow. So I don't know why I thought that was Mill Hustles, but like his like alternative account or something like that. I haven't seen that guy in a while. But anyways, You know, I guess it just depends. Again, and it's really preference, I guess, on what you guys want. If you guys want something that will give you more capable storage, then do it. You know what I mean? Like me, I guess I've kind of gotten past that. With using the iPhone. Even with my iPhone, I had the iPhone 6s. That one was only like 32 gigs of memory, I think, on the inside of that phone. And it really wasn't that bad. Or actually, no, you know what? No, that was a 64 gig. I paid for a 64 gig iPhone SS. But you know what? Even then, I didn't have any memory issues. Again, it had pictures and videos and movies, whatever. And I never had any memory issues. And if it did, just go and delete stuff. There's half my pictures I don't even need on this device, to be honest. Okay, hold on. I'm reading a text from my mother. Let's see. Okay, hold on. What I don't like is when a company comes out with the phone and then the newer model, they've only changed only a couple features. But the good thing about, okay, that was by Mikey Tech. No Life says, but the good thing about Android is that I can get 128 gigs for $20, but Apple's way more expensive. Yeah, but again, that comes with the territory, man. Like, and it really just depends on what you're looking for, obviously. Like if you're gonna buy an Apple iPhone that's 128 gigs, it's gonna cost so much not only because of the memory, but because of the features that it has. Okay, the cameras on the iPhones are like they're top notch. I mean, even though they're not always considered the best. They're always, you have Google Pixel there always on top, and then you have like other phones like the Galaxy Note 9 or whatever that they can compare the camera to. But for the most part, like Apple always the camera always works when it comes to using apps like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. There's very little that this camera cannot do when it comes to using specific apps. App developers make this specific phone work well with the camera. Okay, and you can't say that a lot about Android phones. If you try using Snapchat on Android, the way the snap comes out are just ugly and trashy. Like the only ones that really might look okay are the Samsung Galaxy phones, because those are the most used phones out there as far as the Android market goes. But for the most part, like it really just depends. You know what I mean? But for me, again, people complain about the price of Apple phones, and I was like, yes, they're expensive, but have you used one? You know what I mean? Like, have you actually like bought in one and used one? People complain that there's not a lot of customization. No, there's not. Look at this. I sometimes hate looking at this. You know what I mean? I would rather have a smartphone where I can have an app drawer and stuff like that, instead of having like folders and folders of apps. You know what I mean? And these are just like normal apps that I use, but at the same time, like you kind of get over it. Like me, I kind of just got over how this looks. You know what I mean? And I know, even though my screen's like super filled up, I use all the apps. Like I have way more apps on the iPhone than I ever did on Android. And why? Because the apps work also, guys. I hardly have any issues with apps crashing or anything like that. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Okay. I was responding to my mother. We're still talking about my car and having insurance. And I'm going to end up having to get something or get someone to fix my cracked windshield, man. It's really annoying, guys, that I haven't had this car even 6 months, and I've already had to fix the windshield at least 3 times because of get rocks or chips hitting it, guys. So that's just a big pain in the butt. No Life says, "What do you think about Windows phones? Is that still usable in today's standard?" I would think not, man. I mean, even Microsoft says that Windows is dead, or Windows Mobile is dead. I mean, and that's why phone like companies like Nokia, which is owned by Microsoft, went over to Android, because even they know that their phone ecosystem is dead. And I've used a few Windows phones back in their time, and they weren't bad. Like they worked. It's just their applications were not really worth it, to be honest. Like I remember trying to use Facebook and whatever else, and there just really wasn't a lot of customization. I mean, people complain about iPhones not being able to be customized, but Windows phones uh, were very limited. Not a lot of other developers made apps for Windows phones. So like if you tried looking for like Instagram or there probably wouldn't even be a Snapchat on Windows phones because people just didn't like using them. You know what I mean? It was just such a small market, and Microsoft probably screwed up when it came to stuff like that. When it came to doing the smartphone thing, they were really really late. By the way, like I could have seen Microsoft probably being like a competitor with Apple or Android, like right when Android and Apple were getting like hot. You know what I mean? But they didn't even think about it. They were like already they were barely throwing out their OS like several years after the fact. You know what I mean? So okay, hold on. Okay, let's see. All right, here. Okay, let's see. That sucks with the cracked windshield. Not cheap to fix. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up spending like $60 to get that fixed. I remember when Windows Vista was popular. Yeah, I think what sold Windows Vista or what made it very popular for its time was the little black the little black taskbar that people were going crazy over. But people finally figured out that you can just customize like Windows XP to like look like that. I remember I like modded the crap out of my Windows XP, and I even added like a dock, like how Apple has their dock with like the applications. You could do that on Windows as well. So I did little things like that to customize my computer and just to make it look real stupid and cheesy. But like right now, I'm running Windows 10. I have a Windows PC and a Mac computer, so I use them both. Right? I can say Windows has gotten a lot better, obviously, but you also have to have the hardware to go with it. You know what I mean? I think if you had like lesser specs than the computer I had, I would probably be annoyed. Apple, same thing with my MacBook. It works just as good as it did. The day I bought it, like 5 years ago, almost. I bought it back in 2014, and it's 2019 now. So, okay, do you remember the iMac? Yeah, I remember the iMac. I mean, I remember a lot of those old computers. I know I look young, but I'm actually 30. I'm going to be 33 years old. So I remember a lot of those older, colorful computers and whatnot back in the day. Did they work good? No, they didn't. Were they trash? Yes, they were. But let's see. No Life says right now I am using Chrome OS installed on my older Mac Pro. Hold on, Chrome OS. I tried to install Windows 10, but the sound did not work. Have you tried using Boot Camp, man? I'm not sure, but I've never tried using Chrome OS. I mean, I've dabbed with it a little bit when I'll go to Best Buy and I'll mess around with the Chromebooks because the Chromebooks are cheap. They're a couple $100, and I know Tito Escobar or Rob Escobar. He goes by AO Tito on YouTube. He edits his videos using an app from Chrome OS. So I think that's pretty interesting. Like I've been wanting to kind of try it, but when I've messed with it, it's basically just like a computerized version of Android. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's let's see, Chrome OS is weird at first. I am still getting used to it today, but it's your daily drivers to work on my computer. Yeah, and it's really not hard. You just really kind of have to get integrated with the apps that you are available for it. So like obviously if you want to do word processing or Excel sheets or anything like that, you have to use Google's apps, and luckily it's all free. Like it's freeware, right? So you don't have to pay anything, which is great. Like I think that's what like to me like that's what's great about Google and their operating system is like you don't have to pay unless you go to their app store and you have to actually buy like a specific app that you need. Like I don't know if they offer like any type of Adobe software on there, which you would have to download like Photoshop or whatever, even if that's available. But I bet if you had a sealed up original iPhone 4 unopened in 2019, it might be worth something because of the nostalgia factor. Maybe. I mean, I think it would probably be hard. If you're a collector on those type of things, yes, it would be worth money. me, like I don't really look at technology as something to gawk at and say like, hey, I'm gonna sell this old phone for like $500 just because, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not gonna do what it did 10 years ago in today's market, right? You're not going to be able to update that iPhone 4 to iOS 12. Like, so those older phones can only go up to a specific version of iOS. I think the iPhone 4 only goes up to iOS 9, I believe. Like, there was an old iPad I had also, like the iPad 2, which was like after the version 1 also. It only updated up until like, iOS 9 point something. And then after that, it won't update anymore. So yes, you can still use certain apps on there that will update along with it. But I noticed that there was apps that I wasn't able to download, like current apps that were just there that I wasn't able to use. You know what I mean? No Life says all drivers work on the computers, which I like. Yeah. Well, if you have a wall mount for all of the iPhones or Apple devices you've used, will I have a wall mount? Like, are you saying will I have my phone collection back here of all the phones that I've used? Probably not. I've only ever had two or three iPhones, and I had two iPhone 6S's, and then I went from the 6S to the 10. So no, I don't think that would ever be the case unless I decided to do something like that and have it as my background for my YouTube. I don't think I would ever do that though, guys. So, but those are all good questions, I guess, right? Go tonight. All right, let's see. All right, sorry, I got some friends responding. Let's see. No Life says yeah, and he says, "Hey, older sister has a Nokia Engage QT. Have you ever used that phone?" I remember that. I think that was like, it was a type of gaming phone actually back in the day. Yeah, it was an old gamer phone. I remember. I never had that phone specifically, but I remember it at the time, and I just didn't see a necessity to get a phone like that. I thought it was very like innovative at the time, I guess, but I don't know. I can't give you an opinion. Okay, we all hold on. Let me respond really quick. Okay, so let's see. Mikey Tech says old Nokia phones with the snake on it. My brother had that cell phone, by the way. I mean, I never had that specific phone. I think my older brother had that phone. I had my first like old phone had like it was a Kyocera phone, and it was like an old brick cell phone that had like a snake game on it, also a game that we never really played. But for the most part, it's just been crazy. All right. Sorry, my mother's giving me lectures over here. Like if like she's texting me over the phone, which is weird. But anyways, guys, no, so I mean just keep an eye out on my YouTube channel, guys. Okay. Let's see. A Kyocera Hydro. I actually reviewed that phone, the Kyocera Hydro. If you go look at my early videos, I think I even did a dunk test. If I'm not sure, I think I remember doing a dunk test on that old phone, where I literally just dumped it in like a glass of water and then I took it out and I was like, still working. You know what I mean? I was one of the first one to do dunk test on YouTube, guys. So just remember that, okay? Let's see. Okay, No Life says, "What is a phone back then you have that is unique?" You know what? I mean, probably one of my favorite phones that I had back then that I thought was unique for its time. It was a slider phone, like one of those that you had to swipe up, right? It was I don't remember the exact brand. It might have been Samsung, but it was a phone that was sold by Verizon. That it was a small phone. It was a small compact phone, and again, you all you would do is swipe it up for the keypad to show or whatever. But it would also, uh, I guess, stream live TV, and this was like before they even had like the 3 and 4G network, I think. but it had like some special antenna on the side of it that would stream live TV. So like if you were subscribed to that specific like whatever on their network, you can actually like pick up live TV. And I would remember I would watch like MTV and whatever on that when I would just be like sitting at home bored or in between classes, because I think at the time I was like maybe like either a senior in high school or out of high school. But I remember like I was still in my early college days, and it was just an interesting phone. And I really liked it. I remember using T9 to text everyone and stuff like that. Those were the days back in the days, guys. But let's see. All right, guys, hold on. Guys, I think I'm gonna end my live stream already. Yeah, the QWERTY keyboard, right? I remember half touchscreen slide. Yeah, I remember. Well, I remember I had before touchscreens even existed. I had one of those keyboard phones also, and those were fun to use at the time. I think they were a little underrated for what they were. No Life, thanks for saying this is a good live stream, man. I appreciate it. I know it started off slow, but you guys have been keeping it alive. But the reason why I want to get off is because I have to run to the restroom, guys. I know that sounds really embarrassing, but I don't want to just leave the live stream going. So I might as well just end the live stream already, guys. But again, guys, keep an eye out within a few days to check out. Okay, what phone do you want back then to have now? What phone do you want back then? What phone did I want back then that I would want now? Okay, that's the last question of the night, by the way. What phone did I want back then that I would want now? Okay, probably the original. Let's see, no, not the original iPhone. Probably the original LG G. Let's see, is it the G4? No, it was the G2. I want to say I was really into LG phones back in the day, and I didn't really care for the Optimus G, but when the LG G2 came out, like I thought the G series was really a cool line of cell phones. You know what I mean? Also, phones like the Motorola X, the original Motorola X back in the day. You know what I mean? Now they have like the X4, right? But the original Motorola X, I thought those were cool phones back in the day. But anyways, guys, this is Mike from BTech signing off. We'll see you guys next time. Keep an eye out on my video this coming a week in a few days. And maybe if you guys are lucky, I'll be live streaming tomorrow as well, since I'm not working tomorrow. But you guys